Hello?
Hi, Coach. It's Chad Cook.
Chad, what's up, man?
Hey, not too much, but that's what I have to ask you. First of all, thanks for just all the everything you've done for everybody. You're so beloved. What is? Have you been pondering this for a long time, or how did the process go about you making this decision?
Yeah, well, Chad, for the last 3 years, I've been partially retired doing what they call 49%. I was kind of on the clock from the beginning, I guess. But last year this time, it was in January, I had a talk with my principal, my superintendent, my athletic director, and I just kind of told them I was all in for 22. But, I just kind of gave them a heads up that I didn't know after that how things would work out, and I was certainly a year-by-year guy, And
Yeah.
so, obviously, there was some thought it was in the back of my mind, but then in October with the heart attack and the health scare and just kind of reevaluating everything, I think that just really was the icing on the cake, so to speak. And, I went the last month of the season basically without really coaching the team, and kind of decided then that it probably was time. I told those my three superiors that before Christmas that's the way I was leaning, and of course they told me to take Christmas, really think about it, and kind of give everybody a chance to get their thoughts together. And over the Christmas break, Chad, I just felt real strong about it was time. I guess the weird thing is that I always thought that when I just stopped talking and finally decided to step away, it was going to be because I was just, I was tired. I was exhausted. I just didn't want to do it anymore and didn't really enjoy any phase of it. And that's not what happened. And thinking about it now, it probably never would have happened. I don't think I'll ever get tired of Friday nights at 7:30. I don't think I'll ever get tired of getting prepared for the big ball game. But there's just so much about this job that I had gotten to a point I just wasn't able to do quite like I had done previously. And I never wanted to hold a program or a group of guys hostage by only doing a percentage of what I should be doing, if that makes any sense to you. So I'm stepping away. I'm stepping away from the game, and it's been a good run. I don't think I could have asked for a better career when you take everything into consideration. So I'm grateful. A little sad, but grateful.
It's great to hear that you still feel so speak so fondly of the process of being the head coach at Burke County and getting ready for Friday nights, because it's how it feels when we come to a Burke County game. It's how it feels to us too. It's just kind of an electric feeling. You can tell all the care that you put into the program, and it shows on Friday nights. And I didn't know that you have been what you call a 49%er. I think is how you called it these past 3 seasons. So how's that work? I've kind of heard a little bit about how that works, but how did that work for you as the head football coach? Maybe no teaching duties, or how'd that work these last few seasons for you?
It was actually great. I had teaching duties, but I was able to pretty much do my teaching duties through the athletic department, through football. Those guys still have to take PE where we do our weight training and conditioning. So, Burke County is a great place, and, football is important. So a lot of the scheduling is done where obviously the kids get their academics, but it's also important that they're able to get scheduled to do some of those other things that we do during the day all season long. And so that's pretty much what my teaching duties and responsibilities were. So, it made it it made it where I thought I was a lot more prepared as a coach because of, the way my daily schedule went. So that's kind of a concept that's not uncommon now throughout the state. It's not just for coaches. There are other educators that do it where they'll only do 49% of what they used to do, and that does not keep them, or it doesn't affect their retirement, and put it that way.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, and I'll try to get off because I'm sure you've got a ton of requests today, but, you talked about it being a little bit sad. Obviously, that feeling is going to be shared by so many people as they, read the news and find out that you've made this decision. Can you tell me any more about that? Where I can imagine you needing to talk to your players, your staff, your friends. So many people. You touch so many lives. And where are you in that process? And anything you'd like to share about that, we'd love to hear.
Well, as far as the coaches and the players, my administrative staff was awesome with me with that. We strategically planned it where we would get a chance to. I was able to individually talk to the coaches, and then this morning. I was able to talk to the team because this was the kids' first day back from Christmas holidays. So I had not seen them and had not been with them as a group. So everything was timed around that because I wanted to look my guys in the eyes and tell them myself I didn't want them finding out through social media and that sort of thing. So, everything was timed out based on when I would be able to talk to my coaches and kids. As far as me personally, I'm just going to put it in perspective for you. There has not been one morning of my adult life where I didn't wake up and I wasn't somebody's coach. That started when I was 20 years old. I'm 55 now. So for the last 35 years, every morning that I put my feet on the floor, I was going to be somebody's coach. And in the morning I'll wake up and that won't be the case. So, it's a little sentimental, it's tough. I don't think you do something that you love for that long and something that you still love and walk away from it and not have some emotions.
Yeah. I think about when you mentioned being somebody's coach over the last several months, especially, after you had the heart attack in the game in Jessup, every time I see a post of yours on Facebook, I read it real carefully because, I don't know, I got in the habit of doing that, I guess, soon after what happened, trying to keep up with you and everything. And I've been struck many times about the thought that so many of us, like people like me, who you've never coached, are still able to learn from you from those Facebook posts. So, when you do that, have you always done that? And do you see that as maybe a mechanism that you can still, share your wisdom with people who you might not even know are learning from you, even, whether you're their coach or not?
Well, obviously not always on Facebook or social media, but yeah, that's kind of always been my style of coaching. I think that what we do in football and what we do in athletics is a mirroring image of the type of things that people are going to go through in real life once they're out on their own and, they're living their adult lives. I mean, it's nothing like understanding teamwork and, being positive and productive in your role. There's nothing like, leadership. There's nothing like being accountable. It's nothing like being the underdog sometimes. There's nothing like having to just go and compete for what you want. And so, I always use examples, so to speak, to kind of help those guys grow. And recently I've taken it to Facebook because I'm going to be honest with you, at the urging of a couple of friends who happen to be pastors or whatnot, their thing is that, when God gives you a platform, not only should you use it, he expects you to. And so, what I found out is that I really was posting stuff and talking about stuff that I learned, especially through this whole ordeal with my health and just some revelations I've had. And what I find out is that we're all kind of universal, It's like I may be going through something specific that's different from what you're specifically going through, but it's relative. And so, yeah, I can see some of that. As a matter of fact, Chad, I have a few speaking engagements that are lined up where people have asked me to come in. I have a conference over in Columbia that I'm going to go and be the keynote speaker. So, I don't know what that's going to turn into. I'm not doing it as a potential springboard to another career. I just feel like that if I have something that maybe somebody else could use to help increase their quality of life or their wellness, then I feel like I have an obligation. I've been blessed, man. I've been at some great places, and I've been surrounded by some great people. I couldn't even start to tell you about some of the favor that I've gotten just being where I am. And even if it wasn't me directly, it was my wife or my kids or whatever. So, I feel like I'm not going to just sit at the house and waste away. I think, there's definitely a calling for me to do other stuff. Exactly what that is right now, I don't know. I was just teasing my pastor who inboxed me and said, congrats. And I told him, I said, thanks. I'm kind of like Peter. I'm out here trembling on the water. And he said something that just made a lot of sense. He said, that's where the big blessings are. It's out there when you are on faith. A lot of times we won't step out unless we feel like we can control the situation. I definitely can't control this one, just like I really couldn't control the ending of my career. So that's just the way I think. And, I find that a lot of people have an appreciation for it, so I'm going to continue to share.
Well, I'm glad you answered that last question for me because, your faith and what you've shared about that has been extremely valuable to me, and I bet you so many people. So I'm glad you were open about that, and I hope that event goes well. And I just really appreciate you being willing to talk to me this morning. And like your pastor said, congratulations, and I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Okay, and Chad, I appreciate it, man. I've always appreciated the coverage that you've given us and the videos, and even if it's not my games, I just always like to go on and check out. You kind of show it from a perspective that a coach appreciates.
Good.
So, yeah. A lot of times when you see stuff or things are reported on, it comes from a fan standpoint, and I certainly understand that simply for the fact that those are the people that drive, the interest in what we do. But it's always refreshing when somebody can dig into some of those areas that, kind of pique the interest of a coach. So I've always appreciated that about you and your coverage. And, boy, I hope that thing will continue to blow up. And I honestly mean it. If there's anything I can ever do for you, just, let me know.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to take you up on that. It's so neat to hear because, I was just so involved with basketball my whole life. And when I started covering football, I started covering football, I'm like, even coming to talk to a guy like you was intimidating because I'm like, what do I know about this thing? And this guy knows everything about this sport. And so thanks for being so nice to me over the years.
I promise you we don't know everything. It's a practice.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Coach.
I'm glad you got a chance to talk.
Yeah, me too. Have a great day.
Okay.